Welcome to Ramblings of a Mad Guy. It's me, Reese, I'm the Mad Guy. I don't even know what we're going to do today. I got no idea. I ain't got a clue. That's how prepared I am.
Doing other sports, but with a skateboard.
How about snowboarding?
And today we're doing snowboarding, but we're not just going to shoelace a board to our feet. We're going to do something way better and use a dragon board. Pretty similar to a snowboard, this board actually has bindings on it that strap you in pretty tight to the board. And both ends of the board wiggle around like this, and it lets you have a lot of fun carving and moving around. So before I learned any tricks, I wanted to get really comfortable with the wiggling mechanism. It was a little bit challenging at first, but after about 30 minutes, I was moving around on this thing like a pro. So I knew the next step was
like
for
a
me to get
ripstick.
my first moving ollie on it. My first attempt was pretty weak, but I tried another one and that one went way better. It felt really cool. I knew now I wanted to try a 360, but I wasn't ready to just do it, so I did some 180s first, and those ones actually went pretty good for me. So I knew it was time to go for it, and luckily I got it first try. Let me know what I should try on it next. And
These beautiful things that I've done. Hey. Joe Rogan reacts. I love this new trend where Joe Rogan reacts to shit. It's just clearly cut in. Like, yeah, Joe Rogan is reacting to a Jim Bob debate on the whatever podcast. No chance.
Hey, Alex, it's a big day. We're leaving for Albany, Ottawa, Montreal, Connecticut.
Montreal.
I'm excited. We've got basing material going down today. Come here, I'll show you.
Basing for the concrete walkway, that's going to be exposed aggregate. This is sub-base, some light organics, so I can use a little bit less loom. Thank you. That's dynamic landscaping.
Anyway, we're on tour. We're going to Albany, New York, Ottawa, Canada, Montreal, Canada, Colchester, Connecticut. Then 2 weeks after that, we're going to... Get out of here, I'm making a video!
Obviously, I went with the fox with the top hat. We're going to be having as much fun as we can inside the realm of virtual reality today. Honestly, it started off as a joke, and Alex and I are just having a lot of fun with it, so come along with me for a little while.
Hey, here's looking at you, kid. Oh, wow, look at that. The mouth moves? I didn't even know that. New York. All right, that's enough. Let's go to some worlds. Let's go to work.
Okay.
Today we're going to be playing a game that I've been excited about since its demo first dropped during Steam Next Fest, Town to City. If you're unfamiliar, Town to City is a charming, laid-back, voxel art city builder where you found a 19th century Mediterranean town and then grow it into a thriving city.
What?
And almost everything is customizable. Want to make a big bustling city? You can do that. Want to make a small town where you focus on aesthetics and zoom in on the details? You can do that too. Or perhaps you want maximum efficiency, optimizing every single aspect of your city. It's all up to you. That's what this game is all about. Freedom of creativity, experimentation, exploration, and laid-back vibes. So in this video, we're going to be taking the early access version of the game for a spin. We'll find a new city on a fresh map. I'll attempt to master the game's mechanics and build something beautiful. And if you enjoy coverage of new city builders, hit by step. So let's dive into a new game. In the initial build that I had here, I tried to focus around this lake, and it's really nice, but I think I want to do something different. So this time, I think I'm going to build...
That looks hype. That's a definite contender for game to play. I did like 19th century Mediterranean town.
This is your town. For now, just a patch of sunlit earth, a few rooftops, and a great many hopes.
That's hype.
This little area in between these two small lakes and work our way up this way. So with that in mind, let's focus on this hillside here.
And
this shows us our next goal as well. To get to village, we have to have 120 residents. So let's place some of those new buildings, and they're under commerce and apparel. So I'll place the clothing store first, and I think I'm going to place that right here, right along this street. And I'll place the optician right next to it. Now this building has an interesting shape. I almost feel like I could bring this back a little ways and then maybe have some market stalls in front of it in the future. And honestly, maybe I just turn this one in as well. Now it looks like we'll need to have 2 laborers here to meet demand, but we've got 15 available.
Damn.
and then reconfigure this. We'll call a little bit of a mulligan. And there we go. All's well in the world, or at least kind of. We need to add a worker here, or 5. And then our butcher right here doesn't have enough transporters. So I need to add someone to the warehouse, and I can't do that. So I think I'm going to decommission this thing. And let's add in one of our larger warehouses instead. And this gives us a bit more capacity. And by loading this up with 5 employees, we've met all the demand.
That is absolutely hype.
It's a really nice touch. I just love seeing all of the activity. So now we've got a ton of research again, and I want to go for the street organ. And that opens up a kiosk theater. That's super cool. But I'm going to take this street organ, and I think I might actually place this one back here. And in my mind, this just gives more of a reason for all of this seating to be here, because you could come, enjoy your lunch, and watch a performance. That's super cool.
That is freaking cool.
And we also have
That is freaking cool. Let's check out. Let's see what our friends on TikTok Live. If there's any good debates we want to. Live debates. I don't know if I have the energy for live debates, but we shall see. We shall see. What is allegedly Ian?
If you're reasoning properly, then kind of just automatically, like, I have like a background in formal logic. I have like a mathematics degree. So if you just like follow and reason along and like the ways of like formal logic, then kind of by the very nature of it, there will be no fallacies. So I don't know. I don't think that I haven't read anything about like a verbatim fallacy, but my understanding, like the way that people use that term, is that you're saying like it needs to say something verbatim, like the Bible needs to say something verbatim, and I don't know. Like I think what it needs to do, if there's like something in contest, like the meaning needs to be there, presumably. I'm not sure what the nature of the argument that you were having is.
So the exact argument was, I was pointing out a contradiction in the Torah, wherein God says to Moses that the patriarchs did not know him by the name Yahweh, and then I show that on several occasions, Abraham does call God Yahweh specifically, and that's when he claimed I was making the verbatim fallacy.
I don't know how that would be a fallacy. If someone calls it a fallacy, that just sounds like gibberish. That seems like perfectly reasonable reasoning, right? The claim is very straightforward. Either they called him by that name or they didn't, and it looks like they did.
I had the same intuition, but I just wanted to check. But I'll let you get to actual theists, and you have a good day. Thank you so much.
Yep. Hey, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends. If you're in that guest request box, make sure that you are 18 or older. Make sure that you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. And I ask that you have an argument which does not involve personal experience. Let's get them on up in here. Searching, but we're not finding. Hey, how's it going?
Diogenes.
Ian.
That's weird. That's like super weird. You also sound underage. That's like even weirder. Fuck, don't do that.
That was funny.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, yeah, I'm 18, and you've spoke to me before. I'll just give you a reminder. I was the guy you discussed Isaiah 53 with and Daniel 9 with and Isaiah 9:6, remember?
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah, what do you have?
Well, I wanted to know if you ever looked into Daniel 9 like I asked.
Nope.
You never asked? Oh, you never did?
Nope.
No worries. I mean, would you still like to talk about it, or would you not?
I mean, we totally can.
Okay, no worries.
If you want to like go through and explain it.
Okay, yeah, so no worries, I'll explain it. So Angel Gabriel comes to Daniel with what he calls understanding, and he says this: Know therefore from the decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem and its walls and streets in troubled times, until the coming of Messiah Prince, there is 483 years until he is
That's interesting.
cut
We
off,
were actually
which
just
is
talking about Daniel 9 on our last stream on Monday. That's a good one to go to. I don't if allegedly Ian doesn't have knowledge about it, then this was probably going to go
Cyrus's
nowhere.
decree-
But
However, Cyrus's decree doesn't fulfill all of Daniel's conditions of like restoring and rebuilding. It's mainly significantly worship. No, that's the 457 BC one. Cyrus's decree is polishing up the temple a little bit. You know the temple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's another one in 457 BC. Arts decree. And that one is the worship one. So the one in 457 doesn't fulfill the conditions either, but the decree in 445 BC, it's kind of weird to pronounce his name, but King Artax, it's very, very complicated name. I can spell it out, but I can't pronounce it.
This is like kind of all over the place. Do you want to give the argument in maybe like a more succinct way?
Okay, no worries. Daniel says 483 years from the decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem. That's when the Messiah comes. That decree happened in 445 BC. When you use the calendar they used, then you end up in 33 AD.
Isn't there multiple decrees that are given out?
that's what he was just
In
addressing. The only decree that makes sense is the decree by Artaxerxes in 457.
Decrees that were passed down, and then you kind of have to choose the one that you want to in order to calculate the year the Messiah is supposed to come.
Yeah, but you choose the one that makes the most sense. So that's the important point here.
As being a restoring and rebuilding of Jerusalem. Only one of them did that.
Yep.
Wait, so when does the count start? Like, what were the circumstances?
Yes, the decree would start in the 20th year of Art. I can't pronounce his name. We'll just say Art for short because that's the first part of his name. In the 20th year of Art's reign, so that would be 444 BC, because his dad died in 445 BC.
So, no, but I'm asking, like, when it's saying, like, the Messiah is going to come after a certain event. What's the certain event? Like, some number of years after a certain event?
After the decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem.
Start counting 483 years, and that's when the Messiah will die.
Okay.
Can I say that word on here or no?
Sure. And when does the decree to rebuild? So first of all, where in Daniel does it say this?
Oh,
Daniel 9.
25 to 26.
Daniel 9, 25 to 26. Okay, cool. So no one understand from the time the word goes out to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until the anointed one, the ruler comes, there will be 7 sevens and 62 sevens. It will be rebuilt with streets and a trench, but in times of trouble, after the 62 sevens, the anointed one will be put to death and will have nothing. The people of the ruler who will come will destroy the city and the sanctuary. The end will come like a flood. War will continue till the end, and the desolations have been decreed. He will confirm a covenant with many for 1 7. In the middle of the 7, he will put an end to sacrifice and offering. And at that temple, he will set up an abomination that causes desolation until the end that is decreed is poured out on him. There are no units for these. Is there like a unit for any of the
Weeks.
It's saying like a lot of numbers, like 62 sevens.
Oh no, yeah. So if you go to the Hebrew, the word there for week for the sevens, the week, is shavua, which literally means you can look it up on the lexicon if you want, if you've got a computer, which I'm guessing you do. The word there is shavua, which literally means like a unit of 7 or a set of 7.
Yeah, 7 what?
Years.
Doesn't say years.
Or days, it can mean either, but in this context.
Doesn't say either.
Yeah, but
Yes,
you
it
know
does.
from the context what it is.
Wait, what
Years.
lexicon are you looking at?
So the first year. The desolation of Jerusalem would last 70 years. That one? Okay, wait. So in the first year of...
I can't handle this. We've already done this argument. That's fun. Anything else fun on... I don't know if I even have the energy to join one of these, so maybe it's kind of stupid to even be looking through them. But masculinity is men soliciting for male approval.
No. I'm sorry. So masculinity doesn't have observable, measurable traits.
Your service is cutting out, Curry, so we're not really hearing you if you're speaking. You may need a tag team D'Amelia down here.
Well, you can go. Y'all just keep interrupting him.
You want me to jump
No,
in?
hold on one second. Hold on, Curry. No, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't think you're being purposely interrupted. Your service is cutting out, so we're not even hearing that you're speaking. Which is why D'Amelia interrupted, which is why I said something. And then the host was speaking, and you didn't hear what she said because when you answered, it didn't sound like you were answering the question, and it cut out again. So that's why I'm saying your service is nervous. You may want to
Your service
wait
is
better
nervous.
bars and
Yo, freestyle bars. Your service is nervous. I'm nervous in the cervix. Oh, that's horrible. That's a horrible bar. Does anyone debate live on
What is
YouTube?
the evidence? Very simply.
Oh, you caught me. You caught me clip farming. Live debates. How do I... What's Jim Bob up to? What you watching?
He's on Rogan, and he's been in some amazing films.
Honey, honey, I clogged the toilet. Terrible.
It's like prison.
Okay, I'm probably not gonna watch that. Isn't there like live? Okay, live. No, what happens if we do debate? No, that's not gonna work. I guess people don't really do that as much here. Why is MAGA fascist? Let's see why MAGA is fascist.
You got Donald Trump. Because what everybody else who wasn't PC was like, I'm tired of this. I'm going to elect the most un-PC person possible.
Right.
That's how you got Donald Trump. It was
Based.
an alternate
Yeah.
swing to the other side. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. It was so extreme in terms of like, oh, what do you have to say and do and watch every little word and yes, I agree with all
Everybody
that.
getting called racist, homophobic,
I mean,
Islamophobe,
I kind of-
transphobe,
Based.
fascist,
I mean, I
Nazis.
kind of,
That's
I
how you
agree.
got Donald Trump.
And it still happens, Like I think like Snoop Dogg made some really benign statement.
Oh wow, Snoop Dogg made a benign statement.
Countries are.
Parker.
Okay, if I said Melania Trump, would you correct me? I know it's Kamala. I just haven't said her
Melania.
name in a while. I'm sorry.
I actually just did. I'm not trolling.
Oh, I
would
actually
say
just
Melania.
did. Well, yeah, because he was trying
Really?
to prove his point. Because you were defending your point, dummy.
That'd be great.
Someone said that's it. She's a woman. That is not true. I wanted Carly Fiorina to win when I was 16.
Hold up. So the history of dealing with other leaders. How well has he dealt with Russia?
I don't know. Has anybody really dealt well with those guys?
Well, he actually just adopted the Democrats' point of view.
Oh, interesting. Whoa, did he? I don't understand why people even try to argue the Trump stuff with these guys. Because if you can just say anything, really. Politics is such a wide... Do you support Trump is like the widest possible, I don't know, debate topic. Abortion debates, this could be interesting.
Conclusion. I guess what I'm asking you is, in my view, from just reading that, it sounds like you're saying that it's something that everybody should get on board with, right?
Yeah, it's just a proposition, right? So the background has a proposition, and when you request up, I'm hoping people that disagree with the proposition that's being presented are going to request up so that we can hear their points of view, right? That's why I want people who, that's why it says, the proposition, and then it says opposition request up, because I'm hoping that people who disagree with this will request up, so therefore I can hear where and understand where they're coming from and why. Is that cool with you? You game?
Sure. The reason why I ask is, like I said, my explanation of this when I read this would be like, hey, everyone should get with this program. It's the only logical choice, and I struggle with taking that to be the logical choice only because I would say that this type of thing is based in a moral argument, I suppose. Is that true to you as well? Like, do you believe that has a basis in a moral argument?
Yes.
So is morality subjective?
Great point.
No.
Great
but
point.
this doesn't tell me why abortion is wrong to you.
So why is morality not subjective?
I just don't believe it to be. I don't have any arguments for it. To be honest, I might have misspoke. I don't know. Is morality subjective? Fuck if I know. This doesn't tell me why abortion.
I like how always keep decorum.
Well, if morality
Fuck
is
if I know.
subjective, then it would be up to the individual to decide whether or not a moral stance is something that they should follow or not. Because we just agreed that it's based in morality. But given that morality is something that changes between person to person, culture to culture, decade to decade.
Do you believe that morality is subjective?
I do. I don't think that there's any proof that is objective. Like, it doesn't exist outside of the construct that we've created, like the mind, right?
You what? Huh?
Justified to you.
Is it unjustified? I'm not an absolutist. I think that in certain scenarios, abortion would be justified. If there's a scenario where their mother was going to pass away, and it's like her or the baby, and it's like somebody's going to leave the earth regardless. I suppose in that case, through self-preservation, I understand why we wouldn't want to lose the mother, and the mother would, of course, maybe not want to pass away either. So I get it. I'm not taking away the value of the baby's life. I'm only saying that if we're going to trade one for another, I mean, it's kind of like a crappy situation. It's a gray area. I don't believe in an elective abortion, like, went out.
One exception.
I'm sorry?
You gave one exception?
Yeah, I mean, just
Okay.
because I listed one doesn't mean that there aren't a couple of others.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking for exceptions, and you gave me one. You said that if the mom's dying, then yeah, it might not be permissible to just like force her to just die when we could save her. So yeah, okay. So that's good. That's good. Is that the only exception, or do you have more?
I can think of two more.
So how is this guy the opposition? He actually believes in it.
Or if there's an incestuous relationship, where that baby's going to be
a horrible position.
Right. And, again, that's actually not the baby's fault, but it is the person's fault. I understand that to be more of like a mercy killing in my viewpoint.
No.
A mercy killing.
I'm sorry?
I think that when you say like an incest exception, you don't actually mean this, right? Because in a situation where there is two consenting adults that just happen to be cousins, and they become pregnant, and the mom is healthy, the baby is healthy, the pregnancy is healthy, do you think that she could just get an abortion anytime throughout the entirety of the pregnancy?
Restate that?
No, that's why she goes, in the case where two consenting adults happen to be cousins. Well, you don't happen to be cousins. And then consent to having sex with each other. You are cousins, and you commit the heinous act of incest. So, kind of strange. Kind of a strange parameter she said there.
Yeah, they're first cousins.
Yeah, I would definitely say that the baby, since there's a low variability in the gene pool, high likelihood for developmental issues to occur and low quality of life.
Wait,
for that
why?
baby.
What does the gene pool have to do with it?
Well,
you need
that's
genetic
literally the
variation
problem
to
with
have a healthy
incest.
baby. It's possible to have it.
Oh, it's crazy. Crazy. People are nuts, so. Wish I could join them on my computer. I'm going to start a live stream at some point on TikTok. I just got to figure out how. I don't know. There's nothing really good happening, man. Was today just a flop? Is today just a flop?
But I don't vote because I'm Lebanese. I still
No
don't have
vote,
the
no voice.
So
Sorry,
I do
buddy.
have a.
And by the
I do-
way, I have a full panel of Trump supporters other than Mark, and I cannot have an echo chamber. It's not going to happen.
Hey, Jody, what's up?
Long
Nothing,
time
I
no
just-
see, Jody.
Nothing, Courtney. I just wanted to tell you and Grim when both of y'all spoke passionately, I totally agree, 210% with both of you.
Damn,
It's good to see you
210%.
finally, Jody.
210%.
Your ass in a panel for a minute.
Yeah, that guy told me if I didn't get my ass up here, he was gonna whoop the shit out of me. So
Yeah.
I said I better get
It's
up
been
here.
a long time. We were all
You
worried
gotta be
about
you gotta be careful with that guy because he may take that literal and fucking give you a tongue lasher instead of an ass whooping.
Well,
Gobble,
Grim,
gobble, Big
Grim,
Daddy.
Grim
No,
told me
but
last night.
I'm
And
really
Grim
good
told
to
me
see
last
you.
night that
Who are
I
these
didn't
people?
come up,
What is going
up
on,
here. He
dude?
was going to turn donuts around me on his Tonka truck.
Hey, by the way, Jody, it's good to see you again. It's been a minute, and I know that you were struggling for a minute. Are you doing good now?
All right, I don't need the ketchup. Debates and shakes. This chick's kind of based. I like her vibe.
Construct for people who are homosexual. Marriage is, for the most part, a religious construct. So when you look at Judaism, Christianity, even in the Muslim faith, along with the Mormon faith, along with Hindu, Taoism, Buddhism, marriage is still a lot within the construct of religion. It is a religious sanctament. So from
Sure,
Charlie's
and I'm
point
not-
of
and
view
I'm not-
is that you
yeah.
you come in and you're trying to adopt a religious construct. That's not what the religion abides by. That's why there's a lot of Catholic churches that won't do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, and so I'm not here to argue with the fact that, like, yes, there's a religious construct. I think at this point in our society too, you know, there is a non-religious component to getting married too, right? You can go get married, you know, at the local, you know, courthouse. There's a
Yeah, but that doesn't make it real. That isn't a marriage. That's like some kind of tax agreement between two people. I don't think you should be able to get married at a courthouse. I don't think that makes any sense. Why should you be able to do that if marriage is strictly a religious sacrament, which it is, which its purpose has always been? Why is the government involved in any marriage, gay or straight?
And so when you say
and-
it's a right, it's not a right. Marriage was never a right.
Okay, so
Based.
But I do think you're right. I mean, maybe it's not legally, it might not be a right, but I think we should all be able to have kids if we want. You know, even if you're
Why?
if you're gay, you know, and then maybe
How could you have kids if you're gay? I don't understand.
at a fundamental moral level, we all have a sense that, you know, that it's okay to have children. We shouldn't have a law telling us, you know.
Oh, guys, I can feel my brain cells like seeping out of my ears. I don't. These people have so many viewers. Is this the way? No more results.
What did Dean do? What did he do, chat? Dude. You just got flagged for no reason, bro. TikTok wants us down. You know what? It's Trump. Trump is coming after Dean and Parker now. That's what it is,
Oh,
chat.
yeah,
Trump is
sure.
coming after Dean and Parker.
Yeah, you guys are toast. We're going to send ICE knocking on your door, send you right back to Connecticut.
Sorry, go ahead. You were saying?
I wasn't saying anything.
Okay. So, I guess, yeah. So, I guess in general, like, what about Trump do you like? Because it's clearly not that he's more Christian. He doesn't actually, I'll ask you this question. Can you name one Christian ideal that Donald Trump upholds to a greater extent than Kamala Harris?
Well, yeah, greater than Kamala Harris. For one thing, he's vaguely against abortion, where Kamala Harris is full on for abortion. I believe she voted for abortion to be legal up until birth in California, which is crazy. So, I mean, no, Donald Trump is not a Christian, really. I don't think he has many Christian values, or at least he doesn't portray them. But more so than Kamala Harris, I think it's pretty obvious. I don't know.
Okay, does God allow for abortions to occur?
Oh, there you go. Nice.
No, I don't think.
No, God does not. So no abortions occur.
Well, obviously they do, but he
Okay,
doesn't.
so God
want
allows
that.
for abortions to occur, right? So God must
That
be
doesn't mean he approves of abortion, dummy.
allowing for abortions to occur, correct?
No, because he gives us free will.
Okay, so then why can't Kamala Harris say people should have free will?
Because she's not God? Because she has no
She
ability to
can,
grant
but
that?
I just don't think it's right.
So God's doing something wrong? So he can think that, but it's wrong?
No.
Okay, so why is it wrong when Kamala Harris does it, but not when Donald Trump does it?
Whoa. Doesn't, like, Jesus in the gospel call for us to be holy?
I didn't hear what you said.
Doesn't Jesus in the gospel call for us to be holy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is being holy just doing what Jesus would do? That's where, like, the WWJD comes from?
Sort of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, is Jesus God?
Yes.
Yes.
So then being holy means doing what God would do. And you just said that God does allow for women to access abortion, meaning that, in fact...
Yeah, but God also detests abortion and he hates it. So if we were actually going to do what Jesus would do, then we would speak out against abortion and hate it, as he commands us to do. This is the most slow boy, like, small brain argument I've ever heard. Well, doesn't Jesus command us to be holy? Well, isn't Jesus God? Well, doesn't God allow abortions? Therefore, you must allow abortions. What kind of logic is that? God detests abortion. So then so we should detest it. And we should do what God does and not blow up abortion clinics and, like, kill ladies that are going to have abortions. God doesn't do that. So we shouldn't do that. But we should also have the attitude towards it that God has towards it. Right? That's crazy.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, according to your reasoning, yes, it does. Hey, dude, genuinely, like, real question. What got you to decide to come up on the stream?
Because I just saw it and I clicked request and I didn't expect to actually be joined. So
Have you watched my
figured
streams at all before?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was just saying, like, because it seems like you're not, like, involved in politics enough to like want to debate it. So, you know, but, like, you know, I'm happy that you are engaging in these conversations, that you are at least thinking to some extent, and that you are willing to question your belief system and have it challenged. I think those are all, like, admirable things about, like, what you are willing to do there in terms of just coming up on a stream. But one thing I would say is that, like, it seems like you need to, you know, do some research or look into these different types of claims before you would make assertions or beliefs on them, right? And it seems like you do that to some extent.
Are you a Christian?
I'm not, actually. I grew up in a Christian household, but I'm not a Christian anymore.
Why not?
I think Christianity's false.
Why though? Like, why do you believe that?
In a very basic sense, and this doesn't mean I, like, hate all Christians. By the way, my parents are Christian, but, like, I disagree with the view. God's perfect, all-knowing, all-powerful, all good.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that it's impossible for him to desire something that would be imperfect, a state of affairs that would be imperfect. Because it would be assuming that he would go from a state in which is perfect, where he exists alone prior to creation, to a state that is imperfect. That would be an imperfect desire. So the idea that God would move from an initial state of being perfect to a state that is imperfect, the world that we exist in right now, God plus creation, because there are some flaws within the creation that exists right now, that would be antithetical to him being perfect.
No, it wouldn't at all, because God desired to have a perfect creation. One of those perfections is genuine libertarian free will. Two goods can come together to make a secondary cause, which is imperfect, which has nothing to do with God or his desire. His desire is for perfection, so much so that he condescended into a human flesh and was sacrificed to save us, to make us perfect, to make his creation perfect again. So this is just a really bad argument. I mean, that's the reason he doesn't believe in God. I find that to be pretty weak. I think if you did any basic sort of research into the Christian worldview, you would realize that there's no sense in which God is the reason for the sin entering the world. He has nothing to do with it. So it's not his desire to have an imperfect world. His desire is the exact opposite, which is consistent with his nature, to be perfect.
So he then chooses to create God plus creation. There is flaws within our existence. There's sin within our existence, right? So there's some flaws within creation. So God plus creation, there's some flaws within that equation now. So the state of affairs that existed prior, no flaws. The state of affairs that exist now, there are flaws. God would
Right.
never choose to create because it would entail an existence with flaws rather than existence eternally with no flaws.
How
That's
does
why
he
it's
know that?
contradictory and impossible.
Yeah, it's not. How does he know that that's contradictory and impossible, other than by just pure assertion, right? Brute assertion. Well, God would do this and wouldn't do that, and I know because source. Trust me, bro.
But you gotta think, right? Desiring from going from a state that's perfect to imperfect is an imperfect desire, because it's saying that you desired imperfection over perfection. That's not possible, because something that is imperfect or has flaws is entailing that has less desirable characteristics. A flaw is less desirable. So if there's any flaws, there are less desirable characteristics, meaning that it's not as preferable to something that has no flaws, no undesirable characteristics.
Yeah, but when the world was created, it was originally perfect. Until Eve and Adam ate the apples.
But God knows that when creating humans, that they in and of themselves are not perfect, and that they at some point would sin, because God's all-knowing and all-powerful. So he's still deciding to create an existence with flaws rather than an existence without flaws.
No, the existence he created is perfectly unflawed. Libertarian free will is a necessity for true love, right? And God's mercy and his power is so great. It's funny because people make this argument, well, oh, God made this world and it's so imperfect, and he knew that Adam and Eve would sin, so how could he do that? But how do you know that it's not more perfect to allow some amount of suffering, to allow some amount of mistakes to be made by his creation, who has two perfections, one being created and two having free will, especially when you know the whole story of him coming to redeem mankind and save us? Yeah. It's kind of...
Given that we exist in an imperfect world, it would entail that we exist in a world right now that is perfect, which is obviously ridiculous to believe.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I just don't agree with it.
Okay. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about or add?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. I appreciate you coming up.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Please, everybody, only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone.
Currently MAGA. I wouldn't even say I'm currently MAGA. I mean, I would like America to be great. I don't know if I fulfill these.
Let's go to the next person. Everyone, if you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you want to support me, as always, everybody, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. I'm going to be on for a minimum 15 more minutes. You know, that'll get me at 4 hours. I might do a little bit extra on live today. So maybe we'll get some extra time. Maybe we'll get some extra time on live here. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
What's your birth year?
My birthday is 2007.
What month?
August.
Okay, for sure. Why do you support Trump?
I think there is a good amount of reasons why I do support Trump, but I do want to focus this debate more specifically on my Christian religion, because I was hearing the previous one.
Oh, no.
I just had a couple.
We'll talk about why you support
questions.
Trump. I don't want to debate religion.
Okay. Yeah, I think on a purely rational standpoint of the points of view that he was presents in
Purely rational. Trust me, bro.
Hey, who is this guy? Come with me, here we go. Look, now he's running. There he is, he's running away. What's going on? You
An
got a problem with us live
anti-white
streaming or what?
advocate.
This ain't where you're from. Is there a problem with me being here? You're a white person. What was that all about?
So are you.
Stolen land tax? Have you?
Yeah,
How so?
every single day.
Every single day. I pay my taxes.
No, I said stolen land tax. You got to pay the people around you. You can't just use people for content.
We're not using people for content.
You're
We're just
using
going up to
people
people.
for content.
We're talking to them, just like we talked to this kid right here.
Did he pay you? He got money.
Why would I pay him? We're just talking to people.
Because you got money.
You're just talking to people. Why do you care if people get paid or not?
Because
it's just a
it's
friendly
what he said.
conversation. It's a free platform. Anybody can do
And
it.
he monetizes himself.
How so?
What's wrong about
Clicks.
monetizing?
Clicks, views. You want to care about people?
What?
Care about people.
Okay, I do.
Show up for an encampment eviction. I dare you to.
Encampment eviction. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
They happen every single day.
I go around more places than in America than you've gone
No,
around
no,
your whole
no,
entire
no,
life.
no. You got to go to
show
your own
people what's
location.
going on.
You got to go to where you're from. Are you from LA?
I'm not.
Dallas?
From Utah.
Salt Lake City. Oh, okay. I already see how they cheat people there.
How do they treat people?
Well, they have a history of cannibalism.
Cannibalism?
Yep.
Are you sure? Because I never heard or seen no cannibalism.
No, that kind of white people, they do.
What do you mean that kind of white people?
You're white as well, dude. I don't know what you're trying to say.
And you're whiter than him.
No, I'm just as white.
No, you're not.
I'm just look.
What's up, Kalen the Alien? Live long and prosper. Welcome. Welcome. We were looking at some TikTok debates, but then I felt my brain melting in my head. I felt literally brain ooze come out of my ears. I like this lady, though. She's based.
Country, of which you had 3 government employees that were unalived in the span of 2 months
Yeah.
at their nation's capital.
You're talking about, okay, first of all, they're unalived in the nation's capital because that is where the government employees work. So it's kind of biased to say that. If the government was based in Chicago, then there would be shootings in Chicago.
How about
there
Canada?
are shootings in Chicago. There's tons of shootings in Chicago.
I would have to get to my computer and literally Google that. I'm not familiar with Canada's crime. But do you hear how you're saying, like, oh, there's 4 people that are government employees, that's a really big problem? It's still a city. Like, they live and work here in the city.
Just because you live in a city isn't a justification for the fact that you have government employees being assassinated at our
Not at all.
government.
I would never justify crime. But
Okay.
that's not.
But
that
you kind of
keep
are.
going.
You're like, oh, well, they live in a city, and this just happens in the city. That's a problem.
I would say people get mugged in the city. There are bad people everywhere. And I would say they get mugged outside of cities too.
Well, see what I'm saying? It's kind of like, what are we doing? Like, what are we actually... Oh, that's a cool... I like that emoji. I didn't know they had that one. Greetings, Kalen the Alien. Welcome to the chat.
No, you're not.
I mean, I'm a little tasty, but...
Very.
Yeah, but he
said he deserved to be
get it.
robbed.
Do you know what Kofi is?
Come get it.
We can do that.
Come
get it.
We can do that.
Look, now they'll
we
take
can
the
do
phone.
Kofi. We can
get
do
it.
Kofi. I use this for crowdfunding.
No, you said you deserve to be robbed, though.
I use this
break
for
this
mutual
bitch
aid.
in my hand.
And you'll be hurting people.
Who?
You'll be hurting my friend Corey.
How?
My friend Corey needs resources.
Okay.
My friend Corey needs
I
resources.
can point you to their Venmo. To
If
their
he
Cash
needs
App.
resources, does he have the resources already?
Corey, she does not.
She does not.
No.
And how are you helping your friend Corey so far if she doesn't have those resources?
Because
Are
I give them to her. As well as several other
Giving it to
people.
her and actually allowing her to
So you
have
said- you said
the
you
choices
wanna
of
help
This guy
all
said he deserves to be
different-
robbed. I don't want him to be robbed. We're not
Alrighty,
gonna
so
let these kids rob him.
different things.
But see what happens when he says, "I deserve to be robbed," and then he gets robbed. See what happens? He doesn't want to get robbed.
Kalen the Alien, when was the rapture supposed to happen? No idea. I don't even think the rapture is strictly...
Over the side.
Like, not the rapture the way that, like, evangelical Christians think of it. Is not at all what is biblical. So, let's listen to Father Josiah Trenum on this.
The subject today, however, is the rapture. And let me tell you just a little bit about that. For those who are not from traditions, maybe you were never in the evangelical community or a community that believed this idea. Let me explain just what it is. The whole rapture theory and the eschatology of which it's a part, the idea that Jesus is going to come back secretly, he's going to rapture, meaning he's going to take up into the air and...
Oh, yeah, you're saying... Yeah, a bunch of crazy evangelical Christians have been saying the rapture is going to happen on September 23rd or something like that, or September 25th. Maybe we already passed it. I don't know. Wait, we can find it on Twitter. Let's see. Let's see what people are saying about that. But this is essentially the gist of it. Anyone who says that they know when the rapture is, how it will happen, when it will happen, has not read the Bible, has not read Matthew 24:36. But no one knows of that day and hour, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Oh, so you know when the rapture is, these random Twitter evangelicals, but only God knows. So are you God? It's crazy. Sorry, I gotta respond to this. Let's keep playing the Father Josiah.
Way, faithful Christians, that will summon and manifest the beginning of a 7-year tribulation period. This is why it's called the pre-tribulation rapture, when all hell will break loose. At the end of that 7-year period, Jesus will come and establish his law, probably in Jerusalem, and establish order on the earth, and will reign for 1,000 years. At the end of that millennium will be his second and glorious final coming, the great judgment, and the beginning of the eternal state. That idea, that collection of ideas, beginning with the rapture, was first articulated actually at a prophecy conference in Britain in the middle of the 19th century. It came to America. It was adjusted a little bit and given a dispensationalist slant. That is the idea that God is not done with the unbelieving Jewish nation, that he has really two people on earth, the Jews and the church, and that when the Christians are removed, God will turn his attention to the Jews, and that's why the millennium is going to be a kind of like a Jewish millennium, run from the Holy Land, and then save them all. So that concept was embraced and propagated by Dallas Theological Seminary here for years, decades and decades and decades. And it still is very strongly planted in a certain portion of the evangelical community, especially very growing dynamic churches like the Calvary Chapel movement, for instance. Where did it come from? And what should Christians think about this concept of the end and the end times and what's coming? So I have a few thoughts, a few reflections to share on that. The first is that we ought never jump on a theological bandwagon that never appeared in the history of the Christian church for 1850 years. If a dogma or a strong theological teaching is being promoted that has no root in the early church or in any place in the history of the church for 1850 years, it's a bad idea to embrace it, period. It's a bad idea to embrace it. The presupposition behind this theory is that Christians, one, either were completely ignorant, or two, they didn't care about what the Bible taught for 1850 years. Or three, it just wasn't clear, and somehow in the middle of the 19th century, we needed these super special teachers.
It's a crazy concept, and it kind of pervades all of Protestantism, and even a lot of Catholicism, which is that the church fathers, the disciples, the apostles, some in the more radical cases, Jesus himself, didn't know these theological concepts like sola scriptura or dispensationalism. But suddenly, magically, in the 1850s, after the Enlightenment, or in the 1600s, after Martin Luther, that suddenly, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, we now know the true teaching of the church. But that makes no sense. Some of the holiest church fathers, again, the apostles and disciples, they knew what they were talking about. They got the teaching directly from Christ. So if Christ meant for us to have this, like, sort of fear and wondering about this rapture and the eschaton, which is kind of a fancy word for the end times, then it would have been taught in the very early church. And this is the point Father Josiah is making. We should be very, very, very skeptical of things that just kind of pop up less than 200 years ago. We have a long history of tradition that would have mentioned that if they were relevant and real and found in Scripture. So the rapture is one of these things. It doesn't start till the idea of it doesn't start till the 1850s. And that's not the only reason we know it's not correct to think about. Again, there's that verse from Matthew that only the Father knows. So anyone who's claiming to know when the rapture is either wrong or God the Father. Well, they're obviously not God the Father. They're posting on Twitter. So that's as simple as it can be why we know this rapture won't happen. Or anytime you see like the rapture is coming, it's going to be next year, it's going to be 2012, it's going to be this and that, you already know it's wrong. You already know it's this kind of fake, I don't know what it is. I don't know why they attach to it so aggressively. I mean, there's something kind of like cinematic and dramatic about it as a concept, so I guess that but yeah, let's continue, see what else we...
To appear to tell us what the end was supposed to be like. And now it's all clear and we're supposed to go. The great parenthesis theory that all Protestant churches presuppose. I would just point out that not only do Orthodox Christians not believe this, not only do Roman Catholics not believe this, none of the Protestant reformers believe this. In principle, they opposed Chiliasm or millenarianism. And so this is a very small portion of Protestantism and very recent. So that is enough to tell you that it's wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah.
Now, there's also many, many biblical reasons why it's wrong, and let me take you through them. First, it has the wrong concept of the rapture altogether. The idea of the rapture is not that Jesus is going to secretly come back, so nobody's going to see him except believers, and that he's going to cause the faithful to be caught up and disappear, and then all hell is going to break loose on earth once he takes his faithful away. That is just a very foreign concept to the scriptural witness. Despite the fact that this whole theory has been embraced by so many in the evangelical community and has been, the root of very popular book series. When I was young, Hal Lindsey's The Late Great Planet Earth came out, and he was certain that many of the references of the apocalypse he could define. He described certain aspects of the Revelation being Apache helicopters, and supposedly this all has to do with the nation state of Israel, which was established in 1948, and supposedly that political action is given prophetic significance because supposedly it was anticipated in the Bible, and basically it's a very ethnocentric, American-centric interpretation of Scripture. Ronald Reagan believed this kind of stuff. It influenced American foreign policy. I mean, ouch. So this concept of the rapture, and this is my first scriptural point, is simply wrong. There is no secret rapture. And the text that is referred to with regards to this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 16 and 17. Here, St. Paul the Apostle is writing about the end. It's a most glorious text. Orthodox Christians will be familiar with it because we read from this text at our funeral services. Let me read you the verses. 1 Thessalonians 4, 16 and 17. For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are alive and remain will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so we shall always be with the Lord. Does the great shout, the trumpet of God, and the voice of the archangel sound like a secret coming to you?
Yeah, exactly.
Those things shake the earth. There's no one.
So it's a false doctrine. Yeah, it's a false doctrine. I mean, it's not that there's going to be... It's not like these concepts aren't addressed in Revelation. It'd actually be interesting to go to Revelation and look at some of this stuff. But the idea that you could know when it's going to be, or that, like Father Josiah Trenum said, like that Jesus is going to come in secret, it's really not found in the church, in the tradition, in the history, and it's hard to defend biblically. It's sort of like this, I don't know, it's like a fantasy type thing. So yeah, it's really a false doctrine. Have I heard of AI hallucinations? Is that when AI hallucinates, or is that when people hallucinate about AI? Because no, I haven't. So I'd be interested to learn about that. We could look that up if you want, or you could tell me whatever you know about it. That'd be cool. Sorry, I just have to take care of a little bit of business right now. Let me keep playing this. I'll be right back.
Who is not going to see Christ when he returns in glory. There is no one who is not going to hear the trumpet of God. This is a massive testimony to the appearance of Christ. And the rapture is not a taking of believers away secretly so that all hell can break loose on earth. The rapture are the faithful who have yearned for the Lord's return, going to receive him, just as traditionally in the ancient world, when you had a dignitary come to your village or to your city, you go out to meet him and then you escort him in. We traditional believers know this when our bishop comes to our church. Everyone gathers at the door. The priest is waiting for him with the gospel book. We go out to meet him and then we bring him in to the church. And this is exactly what's happening here at the second coming. The faithful are caught up to meet the Lord whom they've been yearning for. They're then with him. They're greeting the King who has come to judge the earth. This is what the rapture is. That's number one. Number two, Christians are not saved from tribulation. That is not the teaching of the scriptures. The idea behind the rapture is that the faithful will be delivered from the 7-year tribulation period by the secret rapture. In fact, that is the last thing any traditional Christian would believe. We have lived literally through hell. The church is 20 centuries of constant martyrdom. Tell the 20 million Christians of the 20th century slain by the atheists, by the Marxists, that God's will is for them to be delivered from tribulation. I think that they would look at you quite strangely. St. Paul writes, and it's recorded in Acts chapter 14, rather, by St. Luke, about St. Paul's teaching, where he says this: through many tribulations, you must enter the kingdom of God.
AI
That's
is
our
the one that
path.
does. Yeah, let's look into
sisters.
that.
It's called cross-bearing.
I'm interested in the AI hallucinations. Let's look into that. I think you get the
It's not an escape from tribulation.
The rapture part. Okay, so AI hallucination.
I'm going to state 3 facts. Your challenge is to tell me how they're related. They're all space and aviation themed, but that's not it. So here we go. Number 1, the distance from the Earth to the Moon is 54 million kilometers. Number 2, before I worked at IBM, I worked at a major Australian airline. And number 3, the James Webb Telescope took the very first pictures of an exoplanet outside of our solar system. What's the common thread? Well, the answer is that all 3 facts are an example of an hallucination of a large language model, otherwise known as an LLM. Things like Chat, GPT, and Bing Chat. 54 million K, that's the distance to Mars, not the moon. It's my brother that worked at the airline, not me, and infamously at the announcement of Google's LLM, Bard, it hallucinated about the Webb telescope. The first picture of an exoplanet was actually taken in 2004. Now, while large language models can generate fluent and coherent text on various topics and domains, they are also prone to just make stuff up. Plausible sounding nonsense.
Yep.
So let's discuss, first of all.
That's why it's always so funny when people come in my chat like, well, ChatGPT told me that Calvinism is true, right? Also, ChatGPT just makes shit up. So
what a hallucination is, we'll discuss why they happen and we'll take some steps to describe how you can minimize hallucinations with LLMs. Now, hallucinations are outputs of LLMs that deviate from facts or contextual logic, and they can range from minor inconsistencies to completely fabricated or contradictory statements. And we can categorize hallucinations across different levels of granularity. Now, at the lowest level of granularity, we could consider sentence contradiction. This is really the simplest type, and this is where an LLM generates a sentence that contradicts one of the previous sentences. So, the sky is blue today. The sky is green today. Another example would be prompt contradiction. And this is where the generated sentence contradicts with the prompt that was used to generate it. So if I ask an LLM to write a positive review of a restaurant, and it returns, the food was terrible and the service was rude, that would be in direct contradiction to what I asked. Now, we already gave some examples of another type here, which is factual contradictions. And these factual contradictions or factual error hallucinations are really just that, absolutely nailed on facts that it got wrong. Barack Obama was the first president of the United States, something like that. And then there are also nonsensical or otherwise known as sort of irrelevant kind of information-based hallucinations, where it just puts in something that really has no place being there. Like, the capital of France is Paris. Paris is also the name of a famous singer. Okay, thanks. Now, with the question of what LLM hallucinations are answered, we really need to answer the question of why.
Have I heard of the dead internet theory? No, I have not. Let's take a look. And you're really spitting them out today. I love it. It's good. We need stuff to do. The vast majority of online activity has been replaced by AI-generated content, and the theory is becoming more popular. I think that's probably true, right? It seems like AI is all over. And it's hard to tell nowadays sometimes what's AI and what's not. When I'm left behind during the rapture, but the homeless man I used to throw bricks at grabs me as he ascends. Oh, you think for a decade? Maybe. I'd be surprised if AI had been around for a decade and no one was capitalizing on it in a more obvious way. Yeah. I wonder when these people, like, why these people think that the rapture is happening. Like, I wonder where that comes from. Like, look, these are a bunch of crazy. Oh! That is loud. Oh my goodness. I mean, bots, yeah. Bots is a little different than AI, but obviously they're enhanced by AI nowadays. Rapture has occurred and Jesus has returned. I don't know. None of these are explaining why they think the rapture is coming. A televangelist from Arkansas claims Satan is engineering Taylor Swift's marriage to Travis Kelce so she can give birth to the Antichrist and launch the apocalyptic 1,000-year war against Christ. Must she do everything and during a world tour? That's what I'm talking about. The evangelical pastors kind of just go crazy. They make up whatever they want. That's nuts. I don't know. You're not. I shouldn't expect to get any actual answers on X, I suppose, on Twitter. Anything happening here? Any good debates here? Dog debate. Interesting. Okay, this is an abortion one. Is birthmarks prove of past life?
And
no.
he means like, is there life outside of Earth?
Yeah, and I'm saying there is life outside of Earth.
Maybe.
I mean,
how can it be homophobic?
mathematically-
My bitch is gay. Swing man in the top and man is gay. My
You need
brother's
a
on
hobby,
eating
bro.
Christmas Day. How can I be homophobic? My bitch is gay.
Is that poetry?
Yeah.
No, that's bars, bro.
No, he's reciting lyrics.
Interesting. This is the slop that we're dealing with, I guess. Oh god, what is this one?
Answer in the Constitution.
27.
Cool.
How many
What's
articles?
the Fifth Amendment?
How many articles?
How many articles?
That's embarrassing for you.
Yeah, it is embarrassing for you.
I like how your panel is
but
quite.
what am I? I know you are, but what am I?
It's not an easy one to answer because the way that they derive that.
Wait, this will actually be good. I think Jay Dyer does something on dead internet theory. Here we go. This will be perfect.
We did a dead internet theory coverage video 3 years ago. A whole live stream 3 years ago on it. So we were fairly ahead of the curve. I wasn't the first to talk about that. There were some other live streams that had talked about it. I know it goes back to like 4chan theories and all that. The original theories are kind of ridiculous, right? It's like, oh, everybody on the internet after 2016 is a bot and it's all fake. I mean, that's schizo level stuff. But they were onto something with the coming alterations that we did see at the time of 2016 that I think Google began to make due to the...
By the way, you know something is true, or you know something is like not what it seems to be when Google decides, YouTube decides that they have to put this like warning label, I guess, because you can't discern what is good for you. You can't discern what is right and true for yourself. So let's make sure Wikipedia does. Let's make sure you're in line with Wikipedia, the prophet Wikipedia. And so then you get this like stupid, the dead internet theory is a conspiracy theory, which asserts that since around 2016 to control the population and minimize organic human activity. So if you ever see one of these blue banners, just realize that you're on to something, okay? Don't show that again.
Nonsense of Russian collusion and that the bots that the Russians bought were changing the election results. Just super dumb. I mean, you have to be like committed boomer tard Democrat to believe that. Why am I talking about dead internet theory? Because I see bots now that are pretty sophisticated arguing very precise things. And I don't know how this works or how they do it. But I'm pretty sure even a lot of the things that I see responding to me, just trying to start crap, just trying to, stoke nonsense. Like, yes, I understand that some people I might have blocked in the past can create a new profile or whatever, but there's a lot of bots in a lot of comments that are new profiles.
Yep.
With no followers and like a few comments, literally like.
Yep.
Very precise in their replies. So that to me suggests that botting has gotten really sophisticated. And remember, bots can now have entire conversations with bots that seem legit. Now,
Sure.
if you talk about crypto, for example, you will immediately see this in your videos. Anytime I do a video that discusses Bitcoin, it's inevitable that underneath I will get the gibberish crypto bots talking and arguing with one another. In fact, the last time I had to delete a entire discussion of all bots that most of us, probably 40 and under, would recognize as fake. Boomers would believe this. They'd be in there trying to argue with the crypto bots. Like, I can't get the Bitcoin out of my Game Boy. How do I get the Bitcoin out of the Game Boy and into the ATM to get the Bitcoin dollars out? Right, no, they're not going to be able to spot the bots. But
That's funny.
I will say, though, that like the bots are getting more sophisticated than they were like 10 years. Remember 10 years ago on Facebook, you would get on Facebook and it would be like 10 butts that are trying to befriend you. I was like, oh shit, I already had like 5 butts as my friend. I guess I'll take another 10 more butts as my BFFs. More like face butt. And it would just, I mean, I'm joking. Obviously those are bots too, because like, how many butts are actually on profiles on Facebook? Not very many. But we're no longer in the butt befriending phase. We're in the, it's still annoying and it's dumb. And you can spot it, but it's sophisticated enough that a lot of people fall for it, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm noticing, right, and Twitter seems to be really bad about it because...
Yeah. Twitter bots that is by far the most botted site probably ever. I think you get bots...
Remember for a while there, for like a year.
I think you get bots in YouTube comments for sure, but on Twitter, they can just spam. Because YouTube is mostly a video platform. So it's kind of hard. Like, bots are not good. You can't have a bot that just makes videos and pumps out videos. But you can have a bot that absolutely spams. And you can have millions of bots, thousands, tens of thousands, that are just spamming text and reposting videos and stuff like that. So Twitter is just like bot heyday. I bet TikTok comments has a lot of bots as well. That's just my intuition. But
year, as soon as you put anything up, it's like the OF bots were immediately there posting gibberish and butts and prawn. And now I get the crypto bots on my Twitter too, immediately pushing gibberish, scam coins, and whatever else. So they changed the algorithm in 2016. Also, by the way, people forget that I'd forgotten this, that a big part of the change of the internet was not just the rise of Facebook, which happened to come the day after they had shut down that DARPA program called LifeLog. So LifeLog was this tracking and tracing post 9/11 gibberish nonsense that people forget, that was pioneered by DARPA, and it was then shut down because of libertarian criticism at the time the very next day. Right? Facebook premieres Facebook, and it just happens to be the privatized identical version of what the DARPA program was, right?
Interesting.
So that was the beginning of the downfall of the classic internet that we all knew. The next phase, though, was when, I think it was around, I just looked this up, it was like, I don't remember the exact year, but it was like 2011 or 12, I think it's 2011, where Facebook decided to institute an algorithm that was no longer going to show you your friend's post, but what they thought you needed to see. In other words, a version of the For You that we all love to hate now. This was the beginning also of the end, because now face butts were feeding you mainstream news that you didn't even ask for in your feed. That was the beginning of algorithmic deciding of what you need to see. And they pushed it like, oh, but it's going to be awesome because it's going to help you choose like what would be great for you. And there is a plausible element to this because, for example, if you have YouTube Music, which is actually really good, that algorithm actually works pretty good to find other selections like what you like. Right? So the idea isn't bad. It actually kind of makes sense. It saves you time in terms of like tracking down and trying to find some cool song that used to take maybe, I don't know, hours to hear something new that was cool. But the trade-off is, oh yes, you see now the algorithm will control everything. And so that then led to the next phase of the era of Trump, which became the justification for everything has to change in terms of the internet because of the Russian bots and the Russia collusion stuff. Now, we all know, as I said day one, that was all fake and gray. Even though it's all fake and gray, all of the algorithmic destroying of the internet stayed in place. Well,
Fake and
because
gray.
that was just a pretense. The Trump nonsense was just a pretense for basically the destruction of the internet as we all knew it. And here's the funny part. The so-called bots that were influencing boomers to vote for Trump because of little tiny squares on Facebook that the bots were buying out of Moldova, which supposedly swung the election. Ironically, it's the same system and establishment that is flooding with bots everywhere, I believe, to create a synthetic fake and gray internet. Now, what's the basic level? Yes, there's a basic level to where your data is being sold to push ads to sell crap to you. That's like layer one that normies get to, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you watch a lot of YouTube videos about dead internet theory, it's a lot of soy normies, and they're like, it's a conspiracy to sell you stuff. Wow, mind-blowing. Yeah, data-driven advertising. Yeah, wow. Groundbreaking. Yeah. Good job, soy man.
Soy man.
But it's really naive to think that
use
that's the extent of dead internet theory's accuracy and purpose. It's obviously about perception management and swaying public opinion. Now, it's not all the bots directed by CENTCOM or the government or whatever. There's other players as well, right? You can go hire, if you're a crypto scammer, you can hire bots to push your scammy crypto coin. So there's a lot of different people doing this, but the botting seems to have basically taken over large portions of where we all now congregate to discuss the issues. And it will also probably be partly the justification for why we're going to have this ID verification internet that's coming. And all of the reasons that they give are not the real reasons, obviously, right? Like, so somebody asked me the other day, they said, are you going to cover the UK because it's actually undergoing a socialist collapse? That's pretty wild. I mean, that's actually, again, John Coleman, conspiracy theorist. I mean, he's been right about pretty much everything. There's a couple of things that he got wrong. Okay, he was writing in the 90s as a boomer. Yeah, he's going to get stuff wrong. I don't think that, what's his name?
I love the open disdain for boomers. I share that with Jay Dyer. And it's not because they're boomers, but the boomer mentality. I mean, I know people that are 23 years old that are boomers. You know what I mean? The boomer mentality is so fascinating to me. So, it's both an assuredness that you're right, but also having the most, like, normie, I learned this from CNN opinions. I'm right, but because I heard it from CNN or Fox or whatever, name any mainstream media. That's hysterical to me. Okay, so I think we get the dead internet theory a little bit. I mean, there's probably something to it. I still don't understand it totally. But the fact that the internet is a large portion of bots and AI that are controlled by higher forces, I think that's somewhat uncontroversial. Like Jay Dyer said, the soy boy normie take is like, oh, they're doing it to sell you stuff. Well, yeah, obviously. Like, we all know that. But why else are they doing it? What else is being pushed? Like, pushing ideology on Twitter doesn't particularly sell you anything. So it has a political motive, or it has an ideological motive. Kaylin, the Patriot Act doesn't protect us from the corporate sector? No. What? The Patriot Act, no, not at all, I don't think. I mean, if I remember the Patriot Act correctly, the main thing was that it allowed the CIA, the FBI, the government, essentially, to surveil American citizens. So, no, it doesn't protect us from the corporate sector. If anything, it gives the corporate sector a blueprint for how to surveil us, which they also do now. Well, if it's legal for the government to do, certainly it's legal for Facebook to do, or Twitter, or TikTok, or any other website, or Google, right? Now, I think Google and all those things probably would have done it anyway, even if there wasn't a Patriot Act, but this made it especially unimpeachable. the fact that, oh, well, it's completely legal for the government to. So, of course, it'll be completely legal for big tech to do it, who, by the way, is the government, essentially, in a very real sense. At least they work very closely together. So, no, yeah, I don't see. I mean, what do you think? Well, like, how would the Patriot Act protect us from the corporate sector? What about it? What, like, let's really... I wonder if we can read the actual Patriot Act. Patriot Act allows investigators to use the tools that were already available to investigate organized crime and drug trafficking. I like how they just, like, sneak that in there. The tools that were already available. Guys, it was already available. Like, what are you saying? You already developed the tools to spy on us before you knew it would be legal? Interesting. Oh, very interesting that you already had the tools before it was even remotely legal. Have been used for decades to fight organized crime and drug dealers and have been reviewed and approved by the courts as, oh, interesting, Senator Joe Biden explained during the floor debate about the act. The FBI could get a wiretap to investigate the mafia, but they could not get one to investigate terrorists. To put it bluntly, that was crazy. What's good for the mob boss, or what's good for the mob should be good for terrorists. Yeah, but that's not all it did. It's then make the Anti-Terrorism Act so that you can investigate terrorists. But what the Patriot Act does is redefine every single United States citizen as a potential terrorist. Anybody is a terrorist. Anybody could be a terrorist. So we get to surveil everybody. Not everybody could be a mob boss. Your grandma that works at the bakery could not be a mob boss. Allows law enforcement to use surveillance against more crimes of terror. Great. I mean, they always package it in this way. It's like, well, we're making you safer. Well, we're really making you safer. Allows federal agents to follow sophisticated terrorists trained to evade detection, as well as people that are not trying to evade detection at all. Allows law enforcement to conduct investigations without tipping off terrorists. That's an interesting one. Now, if you remember that every time the word terrorist is mentioned in this document, it means United States citizen, then this thing becomes a little more obvious. In some cases, if criminals are tipped off too early to an investigation, yada, 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 it allowed law enforcement to delay for a limited time when the subject is told that a judicially approved search warrant has been executed. Oh, yeah, so by the way, we can execute search warrants without telling you. But as long as you're potentially a terrorist, which everybody is, allows federal agents to ask for a court order to obtain business records. I mean, fair enough. I mean, that's whatever. That's probably fine. I'm sure there's some bad part about that, but okay, this is also crazy. The Patriot Act facilitated information sharing and cooperation among government agencies so that they can better connect the dots. Now, interesting. So not only can the anti-terror group in the CIA have all of your information and your whereabouts and the cameras in your own home, like this webcam right here that we can look, now they can give it to the FBI and to the local police agency and to anybody that asks them, as long as they're in the government, to connect the dots. The act removed the major legal barriers that prevented the law enforcement, intelligence, and national defense communities from talking and coordinating their work to protect the American people and our national security. I wonder why there were legal barriers. Maybe because it was illegal. Yeah, that's crazy. Updated the law to reflect new technologies and new threats. Yeah, right. Basically just saying we can use your internet data, your internet traffic to catch you. Which is like, again, like some of this is fine in a certain way. Like if you're actually trying to stop terrorists, I think you should be able, there should be a method for you to get a warrant for somebody's internet traffic, right? But that's not how this is used. This is used as a catch-all net to be able to surveil every single American citizen. Let's see what else. Allows victims of computer hacking to request law enforcement assistance in monitoring the trespassers on their computers. Fair enough. And an increased penalties for terrorist crimes. I mean, the penalties are already pretty insane. So, I mean, not insane, but like pretty all-encompassing. I mean, what is it called? To commit treason is one of the very few things federally that's like a death sentence or at least life in prison. I can't remember what it is, but enhance the inadequate maximum penalties for various crimes likely to be committed by terrorists, arson, destruction of energy facilities, material. I mean, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that part. Punishes terrorist attack on mass transit systems. So I guess it was legal to terrorize mass transit before. Like, obviously not. Eliminate statute of limitation for certain terrorism crimes and lengthens them for other terrorist crimes. Again, that's fine. The government's success in preventing another catastrophic attack on the American homeland since September 11th would have been much more difficult, if not impossible, without the USA Patriot Act. The authorities Congress provided have substantially enhanced our ability to prevent, investigate, and prosecute acts of terror. Huh, interesting. It's not like you guys are the ones that set up 9/11 anyway. And also Antifa and Central South American cartels, yeah. Well, yeah, now Antifa is a terrorist organization. And a lot of people identify with Antifa, so this just allows the government to spy on absolutely anybody they want. All you have to do is say, oh, they're a potential terrorist, which literally anyone with a pulse is a potential terrorist, obviously. And it clearly doesn't work, right? It clearly does not stop terrorist attacks because we have a school shooting every month, right? It clearly does not. They're like, oh, but the government's success in preventing another catastrophic attack. What success? What success? How have they been successful? By making us take our shoes off at the airport? That's the success? Even though TSA doesn't catch any of the weapons that are passed through when they like do internal tests of like how effective TSA is. Even though none of those work, people are able to get guns and knives and bombs through TSA. And we have a school shooting every month. The government's success in preventing another terrorist attack is due to the Patriot Act. Huh? You mean, I think you forgot a word. I think you forgot the word lack of. I mean, it's actually insane. So, that's that on the Patriot Act. What else we got? Nope. Playlists. Why did I like this video? When Drew Barrymore told Johnny Carson why her mom ignored her. Why did I like all these videos? I didn't like any of these. Sometimes I must like stuff by accident. This I liked on purpose. This is good. I definitely didn't mean to like that. Whatever. Okay, playlists. Let's go to... I think I already addressed...
Makes no sense. What does that have
What do
to
you
do
mean
with
it
you?
makes no
You
sense?
can-
If
you
some
can
guy comes up
easily-
to you to
you
fight,
can easily
and the
just
other
say it
side
now,
says, I don't
Destiny.
want to, you don't really have the
Why
choice.
is Destiny like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings? Imagine if Destiny gets the Ring of Power. He'll be dancing and he'll be dancing and then he'll... Look, even Anna Kasparian here hates Destiny. And she's ostensibly on his side. At least she's on the left. I don't even know if Destiny counts as the left. It's like some kind of alt-left. Some kind of like way far off the...
There.
Lead
That's
by
how fighting
example,
works.
then. Lead by
you
example.
can't lead by
and show
example.
us.
That's called dying.
You can.
Actually,
Right now.
I actually thought. Let me jump in.
Because you're actually happy
Let me
about
jump
it,
in
Destiny.
here.
Just be
I
honest,
actually
you're happy about it.
felt that Anna hit the nail on the head here, which is she did not need to wait for Donald Trump to comment on this to make her own mind up about what had happened. That is intellectual honesty.
Yep.
Right? Yes, it may have been somebody that she totally disagreed with on many issues. The simple, humane thing to do with...
Everyone's right-wing when you're, like, way off the deep end. Everybody is right wing when you're so far left that I don't know. So far left that what? I don't know. Your dog is trans. I don't I don't know how to define that level of leftism, but
any event like this is to ask yourself, how do I personally feel about it? Not what does Donald Trump think about it, or what does Joe Biden think about it, or what does Timbuktu think about it. It's what do I personally feel about this. It didn't take me very long, Destiny, to understand that I felt repulsed by the execution of somebody in cold blood with his wife and 2 young children there watching. It's a human reaction. I don't need to know what Donald Trump thinks about it at all. I don't understand why you need to wait for him before your own
I
humanity
don't need to
kicks
wait for
in.
anybody. No, you're not asking how we feel about it. You're asking what the public statements should be. And the public statements should be the President of the United States.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No,
you're
I'm
asking
not.
me for a public statement
I'm
right
asking,
now.
where
You think
is
I
your
feel great watching a
humanity? You
colleague
can't
getting
just
murdered?
say the
Where
murder
is your
was
humanity,
wrong.
peers? You guys are playing into this exactly. I think you probably know it. I think Cornell was right about this. You know where your bread is buttered as well. You guys play into this. It's insane to me that the President of the United States can't say, hey, all of us need to be less violent. We all need to calm the fuck down. That the President of the United States can't say this, but you will endlessly scour Twitter and YouTube for leftists to bring on and say, don't you guys disavow the violence? It's absolutely absurd to me.
You know, Cornel West...
Well, how is Trump going to come on Piers Morgan uncensored? And if Trump did come on Piers Morgan uncensored and he was asked, do you disavow the violence against Charlie Kirk or political violence of all kinds? Of course, Donald Trump is just going to say yes, because he's not retarded like Destiny, who can't even say that without Daddy Trump giving him his line or whatever.
Stayed in his seat. We were debating free speech, actually, and whether
You're not debating free
and
speech.
whether
It's not
well, let
even
me
an equivalent
finish. Let me
conversation
finish,
here.
and whether
It's
the
insane.
overuse of words like Hitler, Nazis, and fascists was actually empowering deranged young minds to think they were battling actual new Hitler, Nazis, and fascists. And actually, when Andrew pointed out to Cornell that he had used the phrase neo-fascist about Trump, that's when Cornell decided he couldn't take part in the debate anymore, when he was reminded of something he had said. He didn't try and deny it. He just said, I don't want to have this debate, and left.
Piers, how long have you been in the United States, like following our politics?
Like 20
Over
years.
20 years I've lived and worked in America.
Okay, if you've lived and worked in America, I grew up as a conservative listening to Rush Limbaugh and to Glenn Beck and to Billy Cunningham and to Sean Hannity. You're going to sit here and pretend like Democrats are the ones that started the name calling? I heard them call Obama and the Clinton
I didn't say
socialists and
that.
communists.
When did I say
I
that?
heard them call...
Yeah, but socialists and communists is different than Hitler, different than fascists. They are socialists. They are self-professed socialists and communists, some of them. So being factually accurate is the same thing as calling Donald Trump Hitler or a fascist. Obviously not. That makes no sense, Destiny. Also, what? Destiny, are you saying that you have more experience with right-wing talking points when you were 5 years old listening to Rush Limbaugh, which I doubt. I mean, I really doubt Destiny was 5 years old. Mummy, can we turn on the radio? I want to listen to Rush Limbaugh. Meanwhile, Piers Morgan is like a career journalist who probably moved here when he was like, I don't know, 35, 30, and was actually debating or at least talking to Rush Limbaugh and those actual people. But Destiny knows better. Oh, but Destiny, he knows better.
I'm just saying, why are we pretending that some people...
I'm saying, why would Cornel West,
household?
why
And you're
would
a
Cornel
leftist?
West
I thought
walk
that
out
couldn't
on a
happen 5
debate when we're
minutes ago.
literally talking about the importance of speech?
That's a good point by Andrew Wilson, by the way. He got really worked up, so it kind of got lost. But Destiny was saying earlier in this that the shooter, the guy who shot Charlie Kirk, grew up in a Christian household, conservative Christian household. Therefore, this was an act of right-wing violence. But wait a second. Destiny just said that he grew up in a conservative Christian household. So is Destiny a right-wing talking head? Completely retarded. And Andrew Wilson points that out perfectly, and it just kind of gets like pushed to the side because Destiny has no answer to that, and Pierce isn't really interested, but...
Makes no sense to me.
If speech is important, then the president should exercise it more cautiously.
So should you.
So should you.
And
So should
Republicans have been. You can't stop.
You've
a
got
fight
millions
on
of
one
followers,
end.
and you think it's fine
can't
to
stop
show them
a fight.
you're...
Destiny actually engages with more young people and more people in general than Donald Trump does ever. Destiny's every day on his stream talking to millions of people. I mean, whatever. Talking to thousands or tens of thousands at a time. And Donald Trump, maybe he does a press conference once a week or a couple times a month or whatever. But Destiny actually has more responsibility to preach nonviolence or whatever to his audience, given that he's on there every day.
Mocking a widow.
You cannot choose for your opponent not to fight you.
Fine.
If Republicans
You mocked
won't
a
turn
grieving
down
widow.
the rhetoric, then fine. Then who cares? Donald Trump
Who
shouldn't have
cares?
used the rhetoric that led her to being
Who cares?
killed. 2 days before she
Who
dies,
cares
Donald
that you
Trump's
mocked
tweeting
a
out
grieving
pictures.
widow?
This is all. It's just virtue signaling.
There
You
it
guys
is.
are making
Who
fun.
cares?
You guys are excited about it. You guys love it.
How is
You
it-
love
how
the
is it that you
violence.
said this
You
guy
love
can't
the
possibly be a
conflict. It's
leftist?
exciting to you. It's insane to me.
Yeah.
No.
How
this
is
isn't
it that you
exciting.
said this guy can't be a
This isn't
leftist
good.
because he grew up in a white Christian household when you grew up in a white Christian household by your own admission just now and you're a fucking leftist, Destiny?
I'm
Can you explain that
36
to me?
years old. This guy was 22 and he lived at home.
What does that have to do
basically
with
I'm 36 years old. I'm 36 years old. Okay, and
Anything.
life.
What does that have to do with
Because
anything?
I had 20 years to separate myself from my parents' ideology. I didn't live.
oh, but you couldn't possibly separate yourself from your parents' ideology between the ages of 15 and 22. No, that's impossible. You had 20 years. He only had 7 years, so he must still be a conservative. I mean, this is just insane. How is that actually his like tact? How is that his path here to be like the guy couldn't be a leftist? Even though he grew up exactly the same way I did, and I'm a leftist.
Live with them still. Jesus.
So 6 months, 1 year, 20 years? Why does it matter how long it took to separate? You just got to say it was impossible, and you yourself are a leftist who grew up in a Christian conservative household.
Look at him
dude.
calculating. Look at
You're
him.
the worst
asking me-
hypocrite
you're
I've
asking
ever
me-
seen.
Hold on,
You're the
I'm
worst
sorry. You think that a 22-year-old has as much time to separate himself from the ideology that he grew
Did
up
I
with
say
as
that?
a 36-year-old?
Didn't say
Yeah,
it.
you just made
It's
the
a
comparison,
pedantic,
dipshit.
stupid
Of course
point.
you did. It's not
Let me
pedantic.
ask,
You're
let me-
absolutely
that
on
person
the
can be
subject.
radicalized.
What a
Look at
stupid
you.
point.
Let me
You're the
jump
most
in.
radicalized
Let me
fucking
jump in. Let me jump in. Let me ask Jack. Jack, you know the Kirk family well. You've been around the Kirk family, I think, since this is appalling murder has happened. When you hear Destiny saying, who cares, about the fact that he openly, publicly mocked Erica Kirk, a grieving widow, within literally a day or two of her husband being murdered, how does that make you feel as a friend of the family?
It's very angry, Piers, you know. And here's the thing is she's seeing all of it. She's going to see all of it. Her kids are going to watch this video one day. It's just, that's sort of the nature of reality now. They will see all of this and they will see the reaction. And I just hope that those of us who knew Charlie, worked with Charlie, who knew Charlie beyond the, you know, TikToks and short videos can also be there for those kids as they grow up to let them know who their dad was.
And kids are going to grow up and watch old episodes of Piers Morgan uncensored. How profound.
Whoa, nice burn, Destiny. You got him. You think they're going to grow up and watch old episodes of Piers Morgan uncensored? Dude, he was making an emotional point about how the fact that you're openly on a public platform for indefinitely on the internet, which, why wouldn't they watch it? If your dad was assassinated, wouldn't you consume all of the content surrounding the assassination that you possibly could? Out of some kind of morbid curiosity or interest or trying to understand this thing that happened. Destiny just laughing and mocking and shaking his head, picking up on one little thing that he can win on. I gotta win. I gotta win. He was like, okay, I found my win. You think his kids are gonna be watching old episodes of Piers Morgan? Dude, is that the point? Is that really the point that you extracted from that? I can tell those headphones are like noise canceling or something because it's like he's not even hearing what people are saying.
Formative is this? Is everybody here? Did we all get like a script before the show? What?
They watch a lot of old episodes of the
so
JFK
embarrassing. You make the left look so bad, and you don't even realize it. You are seriously so embarrassing.
Okay, yeah.
God.
You can talk to your best friend.
You really
Glenn
are.
Beck about
I mean,
it
like,
later,
you-
know, and have
do you
another
feel-
30-minute conversation about it, Anna.
Maybe I
Talk more about
will.
how
Maybe
the
I will
mean
talk to
wokies
Glenn
on-
Beck about
on
it.
Twitter
Oh, is
are
that
bullying you about
ooh?
it.
Is that
Yeah.
is that
Hey,
naughty? Is it
how many
naughty to have
conversations have you had with
people
Nick?
across the
Bro?
aisle?
You guys have
You
in
had
common
more
now, because
conversations
people
with
on
Nick than
Twitter are
anyone.
So mean. Oh no, not the meanies on Twitter.
Anna,
How many
finish
more
your point.
lawsuits are you going to face from women that you allegedly secretly recorded during intimate moments, Destiny? I can't believe anyone takes you seriously. You're disgusting, you're embarrassing, and you should be shunned from public life with your disgusting treatment of all sorts of people, including young left-wing girls, women
You're turning
that you
more
victimized
blonde right
allegedly.
now in the window. You're
yeah,
so
that's who
you're
you
like
are.
2 shades away from being
You're
a Fox News host,
embarrassing.
Anna.
You
Keep
embarrass the
going.
left.
I can't watch this anymore. Okay. Yeah, that was crazy. Well, maybe I can watch it a little bit. I know it's crazy, and I know I shouldn't enjoy seeing Destiny make a fool of himself. And I really don't, because it is horrendous, and it's indicative of a disease on our culture. This I have to win. If I speak quickly enough and don't make any points, but I just say a lot of words per minute, then I win. It's the Destiny style debate. Unfortunately, it trickles down into all these TikTok debates. But it's cringe. It's cringe, man. Okay, let's see. Let's
hop in that queue if you happen to be MAGA. But we're gonna go and get that next guest loaded in here right now, folks. Hop in that queue if you are MAGA. Hop in that queue if you are MAGA. Let's get that next guest loaded in right now. What's up, Meg? Are you MAGA?
Mega.
Oh my god, Dean, I love you.
All right, unfortunately, Meg, I am going to have to disconnect you just because we are looking for Trump supporters, but I do appreciate you for that love.
How do you know she doesn't love? How do you know she's not a Trump supporter who loves you? Or do you only speak to people that don't? I don't know.
I'm 20.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, what were we saying?
So why do you support Trump as president?
Can I ask you like a question leading, like kind of going to that?
Sure.
Is it a vape?
Nope. So why do you
Are you
support
sure?
Trump?
I don't support Trump.
Okay, man, don't waste my time. Get the hell out of here. Please don't waste my time, guys. We are.
Don't waste my time. It's super important. I have no sense of humor. Don't waste my time. I'm a really important pundit. I'm really a talking head. I'm sort of like the image of the left.
Going to be in here are not going to be Trump supporters, but are more so going to be like followers and whatnot. So please don't troll today just because it's going to be significantly harder to find Trump supporters today. And then once again, if you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, link in my bio, as well as you could find them in the pinned message on that YouTube stream. What's up, Eric? Are you MAGA? Can't hear you when you leave the app. Right now, you're off the app. I cannot hear you.
What's up, bro?
Okay. Hey, man. Don't leave the app. You got to see me in order for me to be able to hear you. Okay?
Yeah. My battery, it was a low battery notification, but yeah, I'm kind of nervous, but yeah, I'm here, boy.
Awesome.
Let's do this.
Emily, thank you for the $10 super chat. Emily says, hey, Dean, I wanted to recommend doing live segments targeted at all political parties so your fans and people trying to change sides can ask you questions. Also, happy belated birthday. Thank you. Yeah, well, the plan was to do like a weekly Q&A, but we just kind of forgot about that in the commotion the last couple weeks. Good idea. Take it away, Eric. Why the hell do you support Trump?
Okay, so, you know, and I got receipts too. You go to my profile, you see I supported Trump, you know, since last year, 2 years ago. Longer than that, but I support Trump because I'm a recovering drug addict. And he, you know, the new fentanyl laws that he's been passing, you know, they...
Eric, I gotta kick you, man.
What?
You said the name of the FDRUG that is explicitly banned on TikTok. Explicitly banned on TikTok.
Do you have to kick him because he said fentanyl by accident? I mean, he was going to actually debate you. It's going to be really hard for you to find a Trump supporter if they say one word by accident and they just get instantly kicked. I'm sure he wouldn't have said it again. Also, that just speaks to the absolutely Orwellian nature of TikTok and YouTube and what's banned and what's not banned. It's this thought crime, this thought police. Well, if you say the word fentanyl, then you must be advocating for the use of fentanyl. Excuse me? Why exactly do the China bots want us not to say fentanyl? Is it because they're afraid we'll actually talk about it and then we'll crack down on it and then they won't be able to sell us all the fentanyl they sell us? That's crazy.
What's one thing that only 19-year-olds know?
I don't know.
Okay, I feel like that's a 19-year-old response because that question seems outrageous, but I could totally see a 13-year-old saying, I don't know, or like to come up with something on the spot. Okay, I trust you. Take it away. Tell us why you support Trump as
What?
president.
What the hell is going on?
So I basically just support him because he's
You have to kick because the live will get taken down, but won't if you like, does the app know that you kicked them immediately? Like, if you don't kick them and you correct them and they don't say it again, will your live still get taken down? So fair enough. I understand if that's the case. Like, you have to kick them, whatever. The greater point is, how is this? I mean, how is this not thought crime? How is this not thought policing? And this is supposed to be a private company. Like, why can't you say whatever you want to say? Fake and gay, right? Fentanyl, you know. And I'm sure I'm doing myself no favors with the YouTube algorithm by just like leaning into that, but it's just disgusting. It's totally Orwellian.
Obviously underage. I will believe that it's more likely than not that she's telling the truth. Now, you just told us that you do think that women that were raped should be able to access abortion. So why do you think that elective abortion should be banned?
Well, that's kind of like the problem I have because I don't really have like a good reason.
Okay, well, if you don't have good reason to support its ban, then you shouldn't support its ban. Okay, like regardless of like where you sit at in your beliefs, we can agree that when we ban abortion, we are restricting women's access to do something with their body.
Yeah, and when we ban murder, if we ban murder, we're restricting men and women's access to do something. And actually, if we ban, like, what else could we ban? If we ban fentanyl, then we're restricting someone's access to do fentanyl. And if we ban robbing a liquor store, you're restricting someone's access to rob a liquor store. So, I mean, what the hell kind of argument is that? Of course you restrict someone's ability to do stuff. That's what a society is. That's what a government is.
No good reason, I just feel this way. And, like, obviously that's so immoral because we're, like, disallowing individuals from doing certain things with themselves with no reason whatsoever. Very immoral. And that's exactly what you're saying right now. You're like, women shouldn't be able to enact upon their bodily autonomy. They shouldn't be able
It's not their
to
body.
sit down with a medical health provider. They shouldn't be able to do these
No one said that. We're just saying medical health providers shouldn't be allowed to recommend that you murder your child. That is what we're saying.
Like altogether, but I don't think we should take that away from a woman that's been like abused.
Yeah, but you said that we should take it away from individuals that are just looking to get elective abortions and you hold on to that belief with no reason.
Elective abortion, by the way, is a code word for using abortion as birth control. That's what elective abortion means. So Dean's position here is if you have a baby and you don't want it, you should be able to kill it. It's that simple. That's what an elective abortion is. Yeah, wait, you mean I'm restricted of not being able to steal at will? Huh? But that's my bodily autonomy. It's my bodily autonomy to really want the Kit Kat at CVS and to just take it. That's my bodily autonomy.
I'm just going to go and move on because I feel like our conversation on the border would probably be a lot like the one on abortion. So I'm going to go and move on. I do hope that you have a good rest of your day and that you research these things more seriously.
Yeah, research. Yeah, make sure you
Jessica,
research.
thank you so much for the $30 donation over at Venmo.
Also, if morality is subjective, like Dean believes it is, then actually isn't I feel like it's wrong just as good of a reason for it to be wrong as Dean's position, which like I feel like it's not.
Not have too much liquid, like what the fuck are people really doing supporting this guy? Yeah, that's right. Don't vaccinate your children. Too much liquid, way too much. And then they're like, best president ever. Makes no sense. What's up, Pat? Do you support Trump? Are you MAGA?
Yeah, can I clarify my position a little bit before we start?
Yeah, how old are you?
31.
Can you disconnect any
Watching
Bluetooth
94.
devices that you have connected, like AirPods, earbuds, headphones, headsets, etc.?
Why does Dean sound like the most annoying flight attendant you've ever listened to? Like the most tyrannical flight attendant. It's so condescending.
Trump, as in he's the better of the two options we had. I'm up to the point now where no matter who we vote for, we will do the bidding of a certain country in the Middle East, but I do think it was the better option.
When you say bidding of a certain country in the Middle East, do you mean Israel?
Dang, man, I can't hear you.
When you say bidding of a certain country in the Middle East, do you mean Israel?
Well, I don't want to get anybody kicked on the live stream and get you in trouble, but yeah.
Okay, great. Well, guess what? Donald Trump has accepted 230 millions from AIPAC. Kamala Harris accepted 5.
For sure.
Donald Trump is significantly more pro-Israel than Kamala Harris is. So, I mean, if you just try to stay as far away from Israel as possible, then you would have saw Donald Trump as the last possible option.
Yeah, well, Kamala Harris's husband, he's...
And I'm going to kick you. Not only because you were about to go from, like, fact of saying that, like, the state of Israel is bad and they have influence over our politicians through lobbying, and you were about to say and move on from that to just anti-Semitism by saying Kamala Harris's husband was Jewish. So I kicked.
So he just doesn't even. This is what I'm saying. This is the scum of the earth. I just don't have the energy. I mean, I will jump into a Dean and whatever debate at some point. Let's see what allegedly Ian's got on the screen here. I thought he had, like, the thumbnail had some stupid syllogism. Okay, Bible timeline. God exists, first life, man exists, full of man diseases. I don't know, that means nothing. But you see what I mean? Like, you say one point, then Dean just assumes what the rest of your position is and then kicks you because question mark. Okay. I don't know. None of these look very good. Well, unfortunately, guys, this was supposed to be a shorter stream today, and it is a shorter stream, and I'm just running out of steam. I can't handle this, and I can't handle TikTok lives. We will be back tomorrow. I know you just joined Mighty Starlog. I'm sorry. This was a very slow, weird day. Ian doesn't kick. Yeah, no, Ian is good. Ian is much better. I was watching some of his earlier today. He would be harder to debate. You know, he actually has positions that he'll defend and stuff like that. So I appreciate Ian on that respect. And I'll jump into a stream with him at some point for sure. But unfortunately, today is not the day. And I do got to go. Got some work to do, some business to attend to. So thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I'm sorry that today was shorter. I'll make it up to you, I promise, over the next couple days. All right. Thank you.